So, want to thank you for listening today.
Come on, take
we're
another
gonna
hit.
link the Wasana
Stop.
Health
Take
website
another hit.
right there down
Take
below.
another hit, man. Stop being a fucking scaredy cat, man.
All right, that was a little teaser clip from my interview with Mike Tyson that you're about to watch. Let me tell you two things though first. Number one, little warning, he does cuss in this video. So if you don't like cuss words, he also does talk about therapeutic psychedelics as well. So keep that in mind if that's not something that you want to hear about as well. And then third, final, is that this video is put together by one of his new companies. He has a new company that he is heavily involved in. It's called Wasana Health. And what they're doing is they're really pioneering new treatments for mental health, for depression, for PTSD. And what they're doing is trying new psychedelic therapies and using state-of-the-art medical and clinical therapies to do so. They're actually the first company that is publicly traded on the stock markets that's doing something like that, and that's called Wasana Health. So this video was put together by his company, Wasana Health, and so you can check out their website. It's right there down below. It's wasanahealth.com, where you can learn more about what they're up to and check it out from an investment perspective as well. So hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you on the other side. All right, normally you do an interview, but everybody knows Mike Tyson, and one of the things that maybe people are starting to know more is just the incredible self-transformation that you had. And you basically used to label yourself as insane, to use your own words. You said you were insane. Is that an accurate assessment? That was your own words. I didn't make that up.
That is extremely accurate. Yeah, that's extremely accurate.
So if we use like the term self-identity, you had a self-identity. I mean, one, obviously you're one of the most famous guys in the world. You're this big bruiser, heavyweight champion, but to use your own words, you were insane. How would you define your self-identity then?
Then, just megalomaniac, self-absorbed. Yeah.
How would you define your self-identity now?
I define myself as a beautiful process of dying. Now, yeah.
And what's dying?
No longer is existing here to the other life.
And what caused that shift?
How old are you?
30?
Oh, you're young yet, but when you get in your 50s, for some reason, it calls for you to have a relationship with God. And that's just what it is. You get prepared to meet God.
I think there's a lot of people in their 50s that haven't had that, though. Was it a culmination of all your pain that caused that, or what caused this transformation?
I don't think pain had nothing to do with it. It was just a learning process. Even a fool could pass that test. It's learning in life. It's life. This is one big school. The school we go to, that helps us to get a job, but this helps us stay alive if we follow the rules of this world.
One of the interesting things when I was listening a lot of your content that I found fascinating was your original mentor, he hypnotized you, right?
Yeah.
To be just the baddest man in the world. How did he hypnotize you?
Well, it's just as a process going through being hypnotized. Doesn't happen overnight. It's just being comfortable with the individual who's the hypnotist.
Now, you talk a lot about...
It doesn't work for many people.
It worked for me. That's why I was so interested
This is what I want to say. Only the special ones get it. Maybe I'm being a little braggadocious, but I think only the special ones get it. I shouldn't even say that, but that's just my personal opinion.
Now, one of you basically, I like to think of like we're all under a state of hypnosis, and that's our personality or self-identity. And you kind of broke out of this hypnotism into different, like Mike Tyson 2.0, and you talk a lot about self-reflection. You talk a lot about psychedelics, and when you tried DMT for the first time, you were fighting it, and then when you let go, though, you said that, you know, the God molecule spoke to you. It said you needed to lose weight and all these types of things, and it went you on this self-transformation process. But one of the things that, whether it's through psychedelics or normal life, I think we build up so much emotional baggage in our life that self-reflection is really scary. And so it's hard we just push it back down and then continue on. When you started that self-transformation or self-reflection, what was some of the scariest things that you saw?
Listen, so nothing scary. It's just my first experience doing it. It was just mind-boggling. I had never experienced being in another dimension before. I never experienced the dying of the ego. You know, once that process goes, you think you're dead. All your secrets that you don't want no one ever to know about you is bare to the world. And what I wanted to say to you, the reason why God created psychedelics and all this medicine was to prepare us for death. That's the only reason psychedelics and all the medicine is made, because we're so afraid of dying. If you ever read the first book, I think it's called The Epic of Gilgamesh, and it's the first book ever written, and it discusses about dying, the fear of dying.
And the Tibetans wrote a book about...
Which one was that?
The book is called The Book of Death.
Oh, but what's the name of the book?
I think it's called The Book of Death, but I might be wrong. It's a Tibetan book.
Padamata.
Maybe that's a Sanskrit name or something. How do you think that preparing to die can help you live, though, more fully?
Excuse me?
How do you think preparing to die can help you live more fully, though?
Well, when you prepare to die, you just go into another world. You know, I believe when you die, that's when you live. Another form of life. When you think, how could death be bad and life be beautiful? They're both the same. You think when you die, it's going to be scary, it's bad, it's going to be evil, you're going to be the devil, and God didn't create us for that. There's no such thing as pain, so self-pain. Isn't that what Buddha taught us?
So then do you think that, how does coming to terms with death, how can that be applied back into third dimension? That frees people from depression or their own self-defeating patterns?
I don't come to terms with it, it's just there. It's just there. I could be dead now, I don't know anything. This is just my consciousness. How could death be bad and life be good? I just don't see, I think death has a bad rap.
Now, you're involved in a company called Wasana Health.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got all excited, right? Because essentially, right, the mission behind that is using psychedelics to bring people through their own traumas, through their own what? What's the deal with Wasana?
Listen, I think since it's been used as medicine for centuries from Native Americans and Europeans, and I just think this is something that's going to help the new generation of human beings. And why could it be bad? How could somebody want to stop that? If they'll give us 100 of those. What's those pills they give you? I used to be on those pills that just kept me fat. What's the name of this stuff?
Are you talking
Oxycontin.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to take Oxycontin. That's how I gained all my weight. Oxycontin and cocaine.
It's a good combo.
Oh man, not good for your style. It kills you. Oh man, you're fat as an ox.
So why'd you want to be involved in Wasana? Because it aids that mission that helped you?
No, I just wanted to be involved with helping people. That's just what I'm really down for. I'm just down for helping people. I get a kick out of helping people find somebody, a new organization for their family or something, than getting a new car or anything. I'm gonna get the new car anyway, so why not just help somebody else out too?
So one of the alarming things, even before COVID and all the lockdowns happened, was just the incredible levels of depression and the incredible levels of alcohol problems and just the general.
Well, they looked at it differently. They looked at, wow, they looked at it was me, oh, it was me, I can't go, I can't. If they said, wow, I can help somebody else that's less fortunate than me. That's not how people think.
So basically what you're saying is you were able to get out of your ego and your own
Absolutely.
mind.
You have to, in the state of shock, we all have to help each other. This is a state of shock when it first happened. You don't lock your door and stay away from each other. We help each other.
Well, one of the reasons that I bring that up too, though, is because we have such a high degree of I guess, for lack of better terms, like mental illness in our culture, and so many of the traditional means just they don't really seem to work, right? And that's why whether it's Wasana or just telling your story.
I'm a better guy, a better person now that I do my psychedelics and my cannabis and my mushrooms and all my stuff than when I didn't do it. And that's all I have to say. You wouldn't like me, you wouldn't be sitting here talking to me if I didn't have my weed and my shrooms and all my stuff. It wouldn't be, laughing would be really scary, it wouldn't be nice and stuff. That's why I love my shrooms and stuff, and I'm happy and love everybody.
All right, can I tell you one of my favorite quotes that I from listening to you? You said that creativity is about having no conflict with yourself. Absolutely. Somebody asked you, well, how do you be more creative? And you said, have no conflict with yourself. What does that mean?
Well, listen, you have to stay out of your way. Let things happen. You know, sometimes you have to just stay out of your way. Stay out of your head and just let something happen. It happens. You know, that's what happens to most people that are entertainers. That's why they're so depressed, because they have a creative mechanism that works. But when it stops working, it's like a down, boom. Oh man, it's over. I'm worthless. I can't do anything. It's just that thing in our brain that want us to be something, that want the world to see us. You know, no one can really explain what it is. It's more than the ego. It's bigger than the ego. It's a self-collectiveness of our shadow, our dark side, our light, everything in that little flicker of desire. That's what it is, a little flick of desire to conquer the world, a little flick of it.
So how do you get out of your own way?
Excuse me?
How do you get out of your own way?
I hang out with my kids. I hang out with my kids and my wife, and I let them treat me like a schmuck and stuff, walk over me, and that's the reality of my life. I stay out of my head. Sometimes I have my time where I say I'm the baddest man God ever created and all that bullshit, but everything has to be put in this slot, you know. But this is not the time to say I'm somebody with this doing their schoolwork. It has to be, everything is put in certain perspective. In my house, everything has to be put in certain perspective, because they don't want to hear dad's the greatest fighter in the world. You know what I mean? They want to hug their dad, they want to kiss their dad, they want their dad to go watch them while they're playing their sports. They don't give a fuck about the baddest man on the planet. That checked me too before, when they don't care about that. They want you to see them play their games and live their life and be their father. That checked me pretty cool too.
Because it basically lets you out of your ego? Or what?
Oh, shattered my ego. I don't care who you are. I don't want to be around you. You're supposed to be my father. This fucking Iron Mike baddest man on the planet, the fucking wuss. The kids, they don't want to be like, listen, if I go out, some of my kids, I think I'm trying to be Mr. Big. Hey, look at your dad. Everybody wants to be your dad. They just take away. And next thing I know, I'm in the crowd by myself. My kids just vanish. They don't want none of that in their life. That's not what they're about. And they just want their dad.
How about anger? How did you learn to let go of that? You know, one of the things that I was talking to my wife last night, and I was just saying, you know, I think a lot of people, when they say, well, you get to sit down and talk with Mike Tyson, a lot of the conversation I would imagine is around like your past life, you as a heavyweight champ and baddest man in the world. But one of the things that I'm really fascinated with is how you were able to, I don't know, find the key to turn the knob that released you of a lot of emotions, right? Like you had a rough life growing up and a lot of, anger that you channeled.
So many other people have as well, worse than me. And it's just what you do when you're under that kind of adversity. That's what you change. That's right there in life. Everything comes that moment. What you're gonna do, everything you ever dreamed of depends on that moment for you to make a decision. And that's what it's all about, the survival of the fittest. See, I'm if someone like, people say, Mike, I admire you. If anybody really wants to admire me, they should watch me from a distance. I'm a better teacher from a distance, because this is Mike. Get me around some people who are my peers. Let's go, let's compete. Let's see who wins. That's my mentality. I don't know, that's how I grew up. That's my mentality. I don't put that form of thinking in my children when they play sport. It's a different league. If they feel they got the big house, they got the pool to hang out in, I feel I'm going to prison, I'm going to jail, I'm just going back to a bad place. So we're a different kind of people when it comes to athletics and desire.
Yeah, but how'd you get rid of the anger, right? So I was looking through the website of your company on Wasana Health, and essentially the company's mission is to guide people through, essentially, for lack of better terms, releasing of their own emotional trauma. And somebody would associate you with being someone that...
Absolutely.
But how did you release that?
My wife, I had to listen, it doesn't happen overnight. You need somebody to be with you, to experience that with you, to realize that, hey, can I stand this kind of storm? And if it wasn't for my wife, none of this stuff would really be happening. None of this stuff really, would not really be happening. She really, like when I met my wife, I was such a fucking dispatch. I was such an alcoholic, drug addict, and I don't know, and she just really believed in, she just kept believing in me. We're gonna get right, we're gonna have a corporation, we're gonna have a business, we're gonna be a big star, you're gonna do this. And it just started working that way.
Did it heal did your wife help you heal your relationship with women? I heard you talk about how you were seeking relationships with women out of trying to get back to essentially like a deeper connection with your mother, and you were seeking it in the future out of women?
I don't know, everyone does that. They look for something that they can never forget from the woman. You're never gonna get your mother's love from a woman. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. No matter how much she loves you, she can never give you your mother's love. That's what some people, they look for that. You're not gonna receive that. No one's capable of giving you that, because it's your mother.
In the stillness, I can feel your energy. Like I can really feel your presence and your spiritual energy. And I know that you can feel it too. What would you say your purpose now is versus purpose to be the best fighter in the world? What's your life purpose now?
I don't know. My life purpose is just to love. And my children, everything's perfect for me. What do I want? What do I need? I really think about what do I need? What do I want? I have everything I need. I have everything I want, spiritually, socially, physically. Still, I want more though, something. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out one day. Well, I guess, right?
So, how do you think that we heal the world?
Excuse me?
How do you think we heal the world?
No, I don't think, listen, I don't think anybody can help the world. The world helps us. You know what I mean? We can't help the world. If you think you can help the world, hug the world right now. Try to hug it right now. Hug the world. Can't do it, can you? You can't help the world, but everybody can help somebody. And that's where it can start. And then maybe the world could be a better place if people from a human perspective, humanitarian perspective, excuse me, a little high. And that's what life is really about. How much you can love someone you don't even know that don't like you. I think you're a piece of white shit. Think you can do that?
I like to think I can.
Yeah, okay.
Not sure if I can, but I like to.
No, I think you can too. You can handle that too. You're a good man. Everyone can handle the pain they believe they can't.
So is your message about showing people that they're more than who they think they are, or what?
No, I don't care who they think they are, what they think they are, but their deeds. They should just have more of a humanitarian perspective of other people and their feelings and their culture, whatever they want to do in their life that's different from yours. That's what I mean. That's who I am.
So you said that you're Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So do you pray regularly?
Yeah, I do.
And what is prayer to you?
Prayer is peace. And I have to make up my prayers a lot too, because I don't do them all at the right time. But yeah, I do my prayer.
So prayer is peace?
Yeah. Prayer is a stand to command, pretty much. Because, you know, if you're Islamic, you hear the prayer, you hear the dawn.
Why do you think that, you know, whether it's you telling your story about how psychedelics aided you in finding this peace, or whether it's working with a company like Wasana Health or any of the other things you're doing, why do you think that psychedelics are an important point of that should be reconsidered by society to help us bring more peace?
I don't know. I can only tell you kids watch my story what it done for me. I can't say what it done to anyone else or how they what they've gained from psychedelics. I'm just saying watch my story and watch. As I was telling you, I took the toad and I started doing psychedelics, and I was on cocaine and liquor, and once I did that, that's 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I haven't touched any cocaine, haven't touched any liquor, and I've been on a mission, I don't know where. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just ready to go.
So when you started using psychedelics and you quit doing cocaine and alcohol, you know, it sounds like it's had a tremendous shift in your mental health. But as it affected you physically as well, has your newfound mental health had a physical health benefit?
You know, the best thing that happened to me physically was I started taking mushrooms and stuff. You know what I mean? It just, I just became part of the earth. When eating no meat or anything, it became part of the earth. That's what mushrooms do, it makes you part of the earth. If you ever try mushrooms in the daytime, try looking at the ground. And you'll see it open up and all that stuff that you'll never see if you didn't do mushrooms.
Where you basically feel one with the universe, or what?
You can, depending on what trip you get. You know, some trips make you, oh God, I'm sorry. You know, you start bringing back memories.
You know, how do you deal with those memories? That was what I was asking you earlier. I think that a lot of times self-reflection's scary.
Oh, listen, you know how many people avoid doing that till the day they die? And they never do that. That's the most scariest thing in the world for an individual, to really look deep inside themselves and say, hey, what do you think you really are? Do you really think you good people or not? Really be honest with yourself. How did you treat humanity? How did you treat your neighbor? How did you treat that person? Did you treat them the way people treated you? I just like to know. I'm not judging people, but I just like to know how they live their life and what caused them to live their life the way they live it.
Do you ever trip out on the fact that, maybe 10 years ago would have seemed like an impossibility, but now, you got a publicly traded company with Wasana Health that is doing this? It's basically bridging the gap between mental health and psychedelics, and you're traded on stock exchanges. 10 years ago, it was like you couldn't even talk about it.
Absolutely. I was just explaining, we have I said you can smoke. I started to read. One of those people today that you can never smoke, but you can always drink, but you can never smoke. Now we can smoke there. So I think they're going to have more tourists there, Saudi Arabia, because they uplift the non-smoking cannabis. They'll have more tourists.
So what keeps you going today as someone that's achieved as much as you have and lived quite an eventful life? What keeps you going?
I enjoy my family, spend time with my family. That's basically what all I do. I have very few friends I hang out with, and I wait for the medicine to give me another order.
Is it the medicine giving you an order, or is it God speaking to you and your mind gets out of the way?
Well, listen, all right? I'm trying to be humble and say it's the medicine. Okay, I could say that too, but let's just say it's the medicine, okay? All right, let's just say this is the medicine.
So, want to thank you for listening today.
Come on, take
we're
another
gonna
hit.
link the Wasana Health
Stop, take another
website
hit.
right there down
Take
below.
another hit, man. Stop being a fucking scaredy cat, man.